Boris Johnson was only recently considered the Teflon man of British politics, a man on whom political crises leave no trace. Whether buying, as we say, hamsters at petrol stations, long queues in hospitals overloaded by the corona pandemic, rising energy prices, empty supermarket shelves, or violent protests in Northern Ireland, the British Prime Minister always blamed someone else for the negative headlines in recent weeks, and often he pointed in the direction of Brussels. Johnson even celebrated the poor result of the weekend's climate summit in Glasgow as a game changer and a major step forward, after previously trying to save the world from extinction in James Bond fashion. Back from the world stage, not only are the old problems catching up with the British Prime Minister in London, the laws of political gravity now seem to be at work. In two opinion polls over the weekend, Johnson's Conservative Tories are behind the Labour Party for the first time since January. And of all things, the Daily Mail, the heart of the Conservatives, sees the opposition as 6 points ahead of the Prime Minister's ruling party. The reason for the dramatic change in mood is a bribe affair that seems as contagious as the coronavirus and is spreading just as quickly among the Tories. It all started with an investigation into Tory MP and former Environment Minister Owen Paterson, who allegedly abused his political status to advance business interests. In order to prevent his fellow party members from being suspended for several weeks, Johnson wanted to change the ethical rules of Parliament in Westminster without further ado, but had to backtrack after massive protests. On Monday, he officially had to collect his plan again. No, it was a week ago, not this Monday. We have now arrived on day 11 of the scandal, and the affairs stick to Johnson like a burdock. The said Daily Mail dragged the Tories parliamentary group leader Jacob Rees-Mogg into the corruption swamp at the weekend and accused him of failing to disclose a £6 million soft loan from one of his firms. The first member of Johnson's cabinet is now in the public pillory, and the nervous backbenchers of the Conservatives are wondering whether their Prime Minister still has the situation under control. Especially since Johnson himself has to put up with uncomfortable questions as to whether he always neatly separated offices and private matters on vacation trips, overpriced renovations of his official apartment, and in love life during his time as London mayor. Every single accusation may not contain enough political explosive power to be dangerous to the Prime Minister. All in all, however, the allegations can damage his reputation as a winner and attach the dangerous image of a matted party to the Tories. Labour leader Keir Starmer, who has so far tried in vain to trip Johnson, can hardly believe his luck. It will be interesting to see what Münchhausen tricks Johnson will use this time to try to pull himself out of the political swamp. So far, he has either ignored his critics or, if things got dangerous, withdrew. The turnaround in the corruption affair is an example of this, but that's obviously not enough for a liberation this time. In dire need, the 57-year-old Johnson likes to pull Brexit as the last ace up his sleeve. A trade skirmish with the EU over Northern Ireland could help close ranks with the Tories. Johnson cannot be sure of this, however. The economic consequences of a trade conflict could further increase the economic costs of Brexit. The Independent Office for Budget Responsibility, the OBR, has just predicted that leaving the EU will hit Britain's gross domestic product twice as hard as the pandemic, with a minus of 4% in the long term. So it is quite possible that Johnson's Brexit ace will no longer stand out among British voters, and that his political bluff will be exposed. And I'll see you in my next video. Bis gleich.